But okay, let me ask you this. All right. The word says that God likes a broken and contrite heart. Meaning, believe it or not, God likes you at your wits' end. I know they don't sound favorable, but that's the way he get to do his best work. When he can bring you back from a place where you don't want nothing to do with him. You done with him. You can't stand him. Because what he does, he turns those people into his biggest cheerleaders. That's how he do. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's why I'm over here. I have grace. I have understanding, I should say, for Glock. Because I'm like, I was mad with God on some way lesser stuff than what she was mad with him for. I got every Bible out my house. I don't want nothing to do with you. And all my, except for the one who had passed, all my children was alive. And, it was on some other stuff. I asked Kev to come and say some other stuff that I was mad with God about. You feel me? So, but when I came down 285 in Georgia, one night, and that's another thing God taught me. I take the foolish things of the world and conform to wise. Because I was searching for spirituality. I was I was over there hanging with the white folks in Roswell. And looking, that's when I first learned about metaphysics and all of that. And they said, come up here. We're gonna do an energy cleansing. I said, oh, great, wonderful. Let me go up and get an energy cleanse. I know I was fucked up in the head, right? Now, people put me in a chair, and the lady walked around me, didn't touch me, didn't that. She said, you feel it? I'm like, yeah, I feel it. Mm-hmm. So at the end of it, I said, well, thank God they didn't charge, because I'd have been a pissed off ass if they charged me. I'd have been a pissed off ass, baby. Thankfully, it was free. It was that was the thank you, darling. That was way the store, you could get accustomed to the store and the platform or whatever. Well, when we got finished, she said, there's a lady here that does, she's a medium. Now, mind you, y'all, we've talked about how my mother lost a child at 23 years old. And my mother used to watch Sylvia Brown on Montel Williams, and this lady named Lisa had a show. They were both mediums, right? So my mom, that was one of her things. She always wanted to see a medium so she could know if my sister was okay, right? So the lady said, won't you see a medium? Now, when I was a believer, I would have said, hey, well, first of all, I wouldn't have been at that store before when I was a believer. So I said, well, hit the hell with it. I mean, I ain't a believer right now. I'm going to go sit back here and see what's going on. So they put us in a circle, right? We're all in chairs. And you could tell where the person who was going to do the medium was. So I call myself being smart. I said, I'm going to sit, because I'm thinking they're going to go this way. So I'm going to sit third chair. They get the first one wrong, second one wrong. I get the hell on. I ain't going to sit here. Well, she started on the opposite. She went that way because she wasn't from America. So she went that way. So I was third from last. By the time she got to me, she told me, she said, you have a husband who passed away. I said, not yet. And I said it in such a facetious way, everybody laughed. And so she was like, no, somebody that you love, that you married died. And I was like, huh? And she was like, so you mean? And I'm like, and she, like I said, she had broken language because she wasn't from here. I think she was from like Sweden or something, somewhere in there. But anyway, so this lady says, and if she hadn't said this, I was getting ready to get up and walk out. I was finna say, because I had made up in my mind, ain't but two people gonna come across. That's my sister and my nephew. Those are the only two people that I felt like would come across, because I really wanted to know something from both of them. And so if she was real. So she said, he has on a black suit, has a red rose in his lapel, and it hit me like clockwork. My play brother. I told you I got godparents. My godparents' grandson. He died in a car crash in 2006, abruptly. He was getting ready to graduate from college the next month. And she said his funeral was like, she was doing this. She said, like, she couldn't articulate it in English language. I said, yes, his funeral was, and everybody was like, is that true? I said, yes, his funeral was like Puff Daddy. It was so many people there. And she said, he wanted to tell you thank you for what you did. And from then on, And anybody in my town will tell you, if somebody passes in this town and I find out, I'm always going to go like take the food and da 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 da. Because I found out that day that people who pass see the stuff you do. He knew I had took, had food and stuff like that, made sure everybody had food. Because when people abruptly die, they're not looking that day to, they just get a call, their family gone. They ain't trying to get their house ready for the guests. So I did that for the family, right? And so she was able to tell me through him that he said thank you for that. So I still do that to this day. When somebody passed, I go to their house. I take a ton of food. If they need something paid for, with the funeral, I do that because I know the dead can see that. I found that out that night in that thing. Then she told me that there's a person with a gray patch of hair right here, right? And they're saying, get in this book. She said, do you sing? I said, no. And she said, you don't sing in like church or anything? I said, no. She said, there's someone with a great patch of hair saying, get in this book. Well, I went home. Well, I realized, the lady who raised me, Miss Zelma, who taught me the Bible, she had a great patch of hair. So I thought it was Miss. I was like, okay. And that was the biggest thing with Miss Zelma. She made